Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador, again with another series of Meet the Candidate 805. And today we have the lovely privilege of having Bob Rust, the Pleasant Valley School Board of Directors. And we're happy to have you here, so thank you for joining us, Bob.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we'll get down on it. I mean, we have a nice little calisthenics warming up, so I'm looking forward to this interview.
I'm all warm and ready to go.
All right, well, let's start from the beginning and tell us about just where you were born and some of your background in terms of where you were raised.
Well, I was born in Oceanside, but my mom and dad moved here to Camarillo in 1948 when I was still a baby, and we moved into Old Town on Fur Street, and I grew up in Camarillo. Went to school in Camarillo, and my kids have gone to school in Camarillo, and I've got grandkids in the schools in Camarillo.
So you had a Scorpion, or was there another school?
I was a Scorpion, you bet. Adolfo Camarillo High, class of '66, yay.
That's a good one. So you moved there when you were just relatively young? Was it an impressionable age or before that?
I just growing up in Camarillo was great. I
Okay.
think I was 2 months old when Mom and Dad got here to Camarillo, and then all through the 50s, Camarillo was a small, sleepy town. I can remember the 101 going in. I can remember the first stoplight and all that sort of stuff. So it's really a great town to grow up in.
So what did you do while you were there? You're very athletic. That I know about you. You're academically smart. So tell us a little bit about what you did while you were in Camarillo.
I was kind of a jock. I lived across the street from the Pleasant Valley, from the Pleasant Valley schoolyard. So I'd go over there, during football season we'd play football. During baseball season we'd play baseball. During basketball season we'd go down to the bottom of the street where there were basketball courts and we'd play basketball. And I did a whole lot of that. Went through Pleasant Valley School. Had some magnificent teachers there. Most of them have retired. No stick-to-itiveness, but. That school now has become Los Primeros, one of the schools in the Pleasant Valley School District. So I consider myself an alumnus of that school.
Yes, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So you did basketball. You pitched. I know that about you athletically. Well, racquetball wasn't real popular back then.
No, didn't know about it. I was introduced to racquetball in college, and then somebody showed me handball, and then. So in about mid-70s, I went to my first handball tournament and found out it was a pretty fine sport. So I've always been interested in handball.
You got the bug bite then, huh?
Yeah.
Tell us about your parents. Parents seem to have a big influence on our lives. Can you talk to either one of them?
Yeah, my parents were real community-minded. They were in PTA, they were city historians. My mom was the Chamber of Commerce for a while, I think. I don't think there was much more than just her in an office. And of course, every year, because the city was small, or the town was small, I have an older brother, a 2-year older brother. So they'd have each of our teachers over every fall, and each of our teachers over every spring. My dad was a soil conservationist helping the farmers. So there wasn't anywhere in town I could hide or do anything bad. I kind of had to be a good kid.
I'm sure you were. And you got along well with your brother? Or you
yeah. My brother's name is Fleet, and he's in Simi Valley, and he and I are best of friends.
All right, that's a good thing. You guys stuck together now.
Yeah.
So you're a superstar in Camarillo.
No, I wasn't a superstar.
You graduate senior. You have the gown. What do you
got
do
to give
after
a valedictory speech? Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So what do you decide to do after the high school Camarillo experience?
Well, I got accepted at Harvey Mudd College, so I was kind of a big fish at Camarillo High, and then down at Harvey Mudd College, I was fairly small. It's a pretty high-powered school, but I was going to major in math, but math got kind of weird once you get past calculus and into oddball tangents. So I decided I would go for applied math, which was physics. So I got a degree in physics. And a BS in physics in 1970, about like a BS in physics today. Unless you have a PhD, there's no real call unless you can do some sort of original research. So I got a job with Westinghouse as a nuclear engineer for a while. But that kind of led into programming. That's really what I was doing at the time. So I eventually became a software programmer and then worked for a company called Science Applications International Corporation for about 20 years.
And that was located where? I'm trying to remember.
Well, first it was down in Agora, and then it was in TO, and then it was in Camarillo for a while. So, but I lived in Camarillo while I worked at Science Application. And eventually my older son decided that he was looking around, kind of figuring out what to do after he got out. And he and I opened an ISP, an internet service provider, in Camarillo in 1995 called VCNet. I don't know if
I've heard of it.
we had a lot of customers, a lot of happy customers, and we did that for I think 8 years. Finally sold it. There were a lot of pressures from, we had to deal with GTE, who is now Verizon, because we had to use their pipes, and you know, they're competing with us, and at the same time they're selling us space in their pipes. It wasn't all that comfortable. And their billing was really weird. We had kind of a hard time with them. So when we finally, you know, things have accelerated. You know, there's Moore's Law every 18 months, capacity doubles. So it kind of got beyond our reach as a tiny little 1,500 customer company. And we got a chance to sell, and we sold in 03 or 04. And I kind of retired about that time. I was looking for things to do, but sort of decided to retire. And then the school district seemed to be struggling a little. So in 2008, they closed some schools, did some rearranging, the recession hit, all that happened at once, and the school district was a little unpopular, and it seemed to be struggling. So in 2010, I got the bright idea of running for school board, and that drove a big heavy wooden stake right through the heart of my retirement. Because I asked my mentor, Val Raines, I said, so what am I getting into this? And she says, oh, Robert, don't worry about it. You know, 3-4 hours a week.
She maybe said per day.
She's a kidder. But I love it. I've loved every minute of it. I would pay for this job. I love what I'm doing. I feel like I make a little bit of difference. The school district is healthy now. Of course, finances, we haven't come up that much, but at least it stopped dropping. And the district is really healthy. It's doing well, and I feel like I'm helping make a difference, and I love doing it. And there's still some big things coming. There's local control funding formula from Jerry Brown. There's next generation science standards. There are a lot of things coming. So one of the reasons I'm agreed to do this interview is I'm running again this year. I've done it for 4 years, and I'd like to do it for 4 more.
It's surprising that's the reason I called you, so we have a common ground.
Yeah.
Tell us, you talked about your son, and maybe could you tell us about your, they always say that a man always has an empowered woman behind him. Do you want to tell us a little about your wife and how much control she has over, I'm a married man myself, that's why.
Well, I have 4 kids.
Okay.
They were with my first wife,
Okay.
who is still around and still involved with the family.
Okay.
We're friends.
Okay.
But my second wife is a stepmom,
Okay.
Joan, and we all get along fine. We're a large family. We had all 4 kids are married, and each kid has 2 kids, so we have 8 grandkids.
Wow.
And everybody's in this area. I don't know how long that'll last, but we've all been in this area, which is really great. The grandkids then have cousins, and that's pretty swell. That's, you know, it takes a village, but family is really the first part of that. So I'm really comfortable with how the family's going. So the son I had an ISP with is my older son. His older sister is Gina, and she works for the school district as a yard person watching all the
Supervisor,
kids.
monitor?
Yard supervisor, monitor. And then John is the one that I had an ISP with, and he's a systems sort of analyst with ADP. The younger daughter, Kim, she does signing, interpreting for kids out at Rio Mesa. And then the youngest, Ted, he's a programmer for a local firm.
That's a good summary. And even get your athletic prowess and competitive nature and spirit.
What about
I
that?
said, did any of them get that?
Oh,
passed
did
on?
they get it? Yes, the boys more than the girls. All of the girls played softball, and they're relatively coordinated, and we all like sports. But the 2 boys, Ted was a decathlete, John was a pitcher at Irvine.
At Irvine.
So,
A
and-
decathlete and a pitcher.
Yeah, and John, the older one, who was a pitcher now, is kind of a triathlete. And Ted, who is extremely coordinated and a decathlete, is kind of in between sports right now, but he keeps his eye on things and is always looking for a way to get in better shape.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. Now, let's extend the racquetball. I don't know why. I want to ask, you're competitive in racquetball, so.
No, I'm not. I don't like
Oh,
racquetball.
now you're changing on me now.
It's not racquetball, it's handball.
Okay, you know what? Your hands are big enough to look. Show them your hands. How big they are. But the handball. I
Yes.
mean, what's the process? You compete at a high level, so
Well, I want to.
you want to. Okay.
I want to compete at a high level.
That's good to perceive, so you enjoy that. And I think the one I'll jump right into is you've done some really nice things, some great things as a board of directors for the Pleasant Valley School District. What do you envision as you approach another term? May I ask that?
Well, like I said, our budget is still quite a bit below what it was in '07, '08. So, we don't have counselors. We depend on PTAs to have PE coaches. We depend on PTAs to have any kind of artistic effort in the schools. So as the economy comes back, having money is as big a problem as not having money. When things went down, figuring out how to save and who to cut and what to do was horrible. As money comes back, and the grape is rehydrated from a raisin, you have to figure out what you're going to do with the extra money. Everybody wants a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there are going to be some big challenges coming.
In particular in the budget or balancing the budget or?
Well, with the budget, with this local control funding formula, which is related to budget, with the changes fairly No Child Left Behind has been replaced by, and I'm drawing a blank on it, but the new
Common Core?
Common Core, thank you. The Common Core state standards, we are wrestling with that. That's a pretty big change. No Child Left Behind, which I hated with the passion of 1,000 burning suns, was teaching kids how to memorize and how to take a multiple guess test. I choose C. Even if you don't know what it is, you choose something and you try to make it look good. And everything was about, you memorize these facts because that's going to be important on this test. The Common Core is designed to make kids think. I'm very much for it. I like its premise. It's designed to make kids think, and like a math teacher will show a problem and then give the answer and then challenge the kids to show them 2 different ways to get that answer. I mean, that's the kind of thing they're doing now. And there's going to be a lot more nonfiction reading. It's going to be a lot of cross-disciplinary, where there's going to be math embedded in social studies or language or whatever. So the problem I see with Common Core is, first place, it came the same time Jerry Brown had this great idea about changing his funding formula for the state. So it was 2 things at once, and it's, you need new materials and all that. We're trying to go digital, and that's another problem that's coming, because we'd like every kid to have some device. Right now, I think we're about 4 to 1 right now, and I think next year we're going to be closer to 2 to 1. We're getting enough more computers and machines that more kids will have them. But Common Core came in, and it hits longitudinally all the way from kindergarten to 12th. So I feel kind of bad for kids that are in high school and have gone through this No Child Left Behind, and all of a sudden they're expected to come at it completely differently. It's all thought. It's working as teams. It's cross-disciplinary. It's big problem solving. It's, you have to gather your thoughts and your resources and think about this. It's not, remember the War of 1812 was fought in 1812. It's you have to, what was the War of 1812?
Yeah.
Why did it happen? How did this come about? How could we possibly be fighting the English again in 1812? So it's going to be a big change for the older kids, and
Right.
even our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We're K through 8. Even our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, it's a major change. It kind of jerks their collar and wakes them up.
Well, I'll tell you what, just looking forward to some exciting times here.
Yeah, it will be exciting, and in truth, not everybody is excited about Common Core. Most of our teachers are, our district certainly is, but there are people across the country and around Ventura County who are worried about Common Core.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be fabulous because we need smart people. That's one of the reasons I wanted to be on the school board. I want kids to be smart. I want them to come out of our K-8 Pleasant Valley School District. I want them to be hungry for more, curious. I want them to be, I want them to know how to learn. I mean, that's, in 16 years of school, going through Harvard and college, what I essentially learned was how to learn. I think that's what you go to school for. You pick up some basic facts, you learn your ABCs and how to count and how to read, but eventually what you learn is you learn how to learn. And that's what, I think that's what Common Core is doing. It's gonna teach kids how to learn, how to attack a problem, how to collaborate, how to get a partner and say, you know, I need some help. You look at this part, but I'll look at this part. And within our staff, we have a magnificent staff in our school district. Within our staff of teachers, there's a lot of collaboration. Every school I go to, the third grade teachers are huddled together. The fifth grade teachers are huddled together. Sometimes the third and fourth grade teachers are huddled together because, you know, we've got these couple of kids that seem to be having a problem. What was it like when they were in your classroom? I mean, everybody, I don't know if all school districts do that or not. We have a fabulous administrative staff. We have a relatively new superintendent who is marvelous, Rayanne Michael. And I think she is part of the encouragement for this collaboration all through the district. And our motto is, we don't have any employees who are less than a B+. We're looking for great employees, and that's what we're getting.
So nothing on the bell curve, so that's a B+.
No,
Solid B+.
we're Lake Wobegon. Everybody's above average.
You know, maybe it's just a summary, but I really want to ask the question, with all these things you've done, what do you want to be remembered for?
I don't care that much about being remembered. I want this school district to do well. You know, okay, he tried hard, or his heart was in the right place, or I'd love he left the world a better place, but I don't really, this isn't much about me.
That's mine. It's the same exact answer I was going to give, so that was awesome. But if you want to elaborate, so
Elaborate. Like I said, I want our school district to be the best it can be, and we're getting there. We're getting there really quickly, and you know, with a little, if the economy continues to get better, with a little infusion of money, I think we're going to really take off. We've got everything in place. We've got the best district office around. We've got the best teachers, the best support staff. We are just, we're an amazing district, and I think big things are coming.
We got an amazing person on. Bob, thank you so much for being a part of this interview.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And this is Peter Godinez, again, ambassador for KEY TV. We had Bob Rust, and we hope you enjoyed his interview.